Opener from Mercer, 7 o'clock on Saturday against Morehead State at Five-Star Stadium. Bears 7-3 in home openers, 2-1 under Coach Cronic. They've won their last 2 home openers at Five-Star. So with that being said, I'm going to bring up head coach Drew Cronic for questions.
All right, good to see everybody. Saturday was a rough day. You guys know the way to put it. We didn't play well. We played hard a lot. Didn't play well. It's one of them games where you get out there and, I thought we played pretty tough against the run defensively. There were some matchups on the outside, and all of a sudden you look up and I think we fumbled a kickoff, and so you look up and it's 28-7, before you can blink. And then what happens is you get kids who, and we got to get better at this, is they abandon, they start trying to do other things instead of just do what you're coached to do. So that's something we're working hard this week on. And the message for the game was, when you do what you're supposed to do, you have success. That shows up in that film. Okay, we do what we're supposed to do. We had a chance to defend. We had a chance to gain yards. We had a chance in special teams. When you don't do what you're supposed to do against talent of that level, bad things happen. So it's great learning off the film. You hate to learn by, and you learn through some humility as well. That when you don't do what you're supposed to do, man, it gets ugly against great talent. So hopefully that we can learn from that. Have a great week of practice. I thought we had a good practice last night. But obviously it was a humbling day, and our main objective is to learn from it and get better, and we will. I can promise you that. So we need to get to Saturday and get the bad taste out of our mouth. The only way you can do that is to go play really, really freaking good. We're playing Morehead State, and they will present some challenges for us. But obviously, everybody in the room knows we should be better than them. So can we go handle that? Can we go handle trying to meet a standard that we set and go play at a high level and try to go dominate an opponent? That's what's in front of us. If we don't go play well, it'll be a close game, and it'll be a barn burner, all those kind of things. But we gotta work to do that. Keep getting better every day. I believe in our kids. I believe they'll do that. We had some kids play hard. We didn't really have a player of the week, but offensively, I thought Al made some great improvements, which you get to hear from him today. I thought he ran the ball hard and was much more physical, and we need him to continue to do that because he can do it. I thought Jordan was our, special teams guy that was he was really busting his tail on some different phases of that. That was kind of, defensively, Solomon Zubair probably played the best. Those guys played good enough to win. We just got to get more guys that are doing that at that high level, especially in a game like that. So, but we'll get better. We'll have a great opportunity this weekend to play our first home game. We need the stadium full. We need to have a good time out there. We need Black Field rocking and rolling. Should be a great atmosphere, and we're excited to take another step forward. We're going to have a good practice today. We're going to have a good practice Wednesday. Put the hay in the barn Thursday, and then get ready to go. So that's what we're looking forward to. So I'm ready for some questions.
To focus on the one bright spot from Saturday when Carter took off for that 75-yard run. Was that the call there, or did he just see some? Yeah,
it was a read play. It was a power read. He read it, and honestly, we didn't really block it that good. But I think we caught him in a formation. Their safeties got messed up. One safety of the field stayed to the field. The other safety rolled to the boundary because everybody in the stadium, when number 1 goes in motion, they're figuring he's going to get it on a jet sweep. And I think about 6 of them went to tackle him, and it just parted like the Red Sea. And Carter shows you he can run. I mean, they didn't gain an inch on him. That was exciting to open up the game that way. We certainly should have done a lot more than that. And like I said, offensively, there were times where we moved the ball, but you can't have, you can't have penalties, okay? You got to keep your composure. We certainly had the fumble on the kickoff return. We got to eliminate that. When you're playing against really good people, the consistency of your execution, you can't just execute 3 or 4 plays. You got to execute every play. And we did it at times, but we got to do it more.
As you guys prepare for this weekend now, do you how much do you gain from a game like Ole Miss? Do you focus more on the things you guys did against North Alabama? Is it a little bit of both as you game plan?
I think we are where we are. So Saturday was our last time to play. So that's who we are right now. That's what we were Saturday. And so there's positives on the film, which you got to build off of, but there's also negatives. There's times where a kid's doing the best he can. He's in a great position, and a better athlete got him. Okay. Can't worry about that. But there's other times where we're not doing what we're supposed to do, and that will come back to haunt us against really good conference opponents. So we have to learn from that. You can't just flush the game down the toilet and say, oh, it's just a bad day. You got to learn from the mistakes, because those mistakes will keep popping up. So that's kind of how we're taking it.
Looking forward to this Saturday now. What do you guys take from your last matchup against Morehead State and some of the challenges that they might present?
I'm sure we embarrassed them last year, so I'm sure they'll be juiced up to come down here and do a much better job after having played us one time. And now they got film of what they do versus us, so they'll make adjustments off of that. The bottom line is there's a standard that has to be met no matter who we're playing. And I hope we play to that standard this Saturday. That's the expectation.
Given the first two games away from this place, how exciting is it for you and your team just to be back here and making this up?
It's very exciting. It's nice not to be traveling on Friday. It's nice to be in your own bed that night, for us and the players. It's nice to be able to spend those times and those meetings here, in our meeting spaces on Saturday. Yeah, we're ready to play a home game for sure.
Does the nighttime start affect your game day?
It just the way we build the itinerary. There's certain things we want to get done before a game. It gives you a little more time, let the kids sleep in a little bit longer, that kind of thing. But we'll get them up, eat a good breakfast, and we'll go through our routines, our meetings, our run-throughs. Have a good pregame meal, go through our bear walk, do all the things we normally do, but it just means you start a little later. That's it?
I got another one.
Yeah, come on. Fire away.
I know you said, prior to the season opener about, the run game and so many talented guys being back there. Did you learn anything else about guys like Al on Saturday against Ole Miss and what they're capable of doing? Yeah,
like I said, Al ran like we expect Al to run, okay, which is physical. He broke tackles, he fell forward. And that was good to see. I didn't think he did that as much the first game. He'd be the first to tell you that. He played much better. And we still have young guys that we're getting to see a little bit. Micah Bell, we got to finish some runs a little better. He knows that. It was good to see Tyrell Cord get a couple carries at the end of the game. And he's a kid that's going to be a good football player. He's still figuring some things out, but he may earn some more carries. So it's just you're trying to figure out what those young guys are ready to do and where they're ready to help you and get them there as you get closer to conference play. But I feel good about that room. I feel good about, what Parker, brings to the table at that position a little bit. Probably need to expand that package a little bit. And then, certainly Carter can do some things back there as well, running the football. So I think we're finding some pieces there that are going to work well for us.
2 games in, the one thing that probably frustrates you the most right now, and the one thing that you've been most pleased about?
I don't know. I think our lack of explosion plays offensively is a little bit frustrating. People got to make plays. Okay, if you're a guy who's expected and over time made those plays, then we need you to show up and make plays. We need new guys to do that. So, and those guys will. They get that. But we got to get a little bit more of our receivers a little bit. We got to put them in better situations. So that to me is the explosion plays. Making one more good block and springing that 15 to 20 yard run, that needs to happen a little bit more. But our kids they responded well. I got after them yesterday in the meeting. Okay, we talked about the truth, and they responded last night. They've had a good look about them. They bounced around. We need to put consistent days of work together, I like our kids. I really do. So I expect them to really finish a good week of practice and play well Saturday.
That's good.
All right, thank y'all.
Just a reminder of the media in attendance, there is game notes available on the table over here if you want to grab one after or during. Al Wooten, leading rusher after two games. Jordan Swain, one of our top defensive guys. They're going to come up one after that, and we'll start with Al.
Al, with so many guys in that backfield that are capable of, doing the job, where do you kind of fit in as the guy that was around on this team last year, and what do you like about that group right now?
Man, I like the versatility of the group. You know, you have me, the physical running back, and then you have Michael Bell, who's more the speed back, but has some physicality to him as well. And then you have Mike McGowan and Tyrell Court as well, who have some versatility to their game as well. But then also with me, I'm a pretty good blocker as well. So I just love that. Also with that, I'm a guy that has some experience in the room, coming in with Coach Cronic, and basically being the old head in the room, being here for almost 4 years now. So I have a lot of, I guess you could say, wisdom and experience that I can pass down to those guys. So then when it's time for me to go on to other endeavors, it's time for them to do their thing as well.
Coach has said, he wants to be able to stop the run and run the ball too. How do you guys take pride in that sort of identity for Mercer's offense this year?
The main thing is just being physical. Every day we work on going through the blaster, right, and then ball security. But then also with being a physical back, you also had to have good feet as well. And that's something that we worked on in the off season, and just being explosive, and so that when it's time to make those explosive plays, it's time to get downfield.
Given that you've been here for as long as you have, and you've kind of seen this program blow up the way it has, from your first home opener here in Macon as a freshman to now, I mean, just to see how the crowds have gotten bigger and the environment and everything that goes with it, I mean, how exciting is it to be back home and see that growth?
Oh, it's definitely exciting, especially, going from being a freshman playing against Abilene Christian, losing at the very end, and to now, going against Morehead State, and, the stadium's filled up, everybody's going to the black field for the concert, and then they're coming here, and then I got my family in attendance. It's a beautiful thing, and I'm just excited to be going into my fourth year, or to be experiencing my fourth year, and just being out there with my brothers.
Given your guys' last matchup with Morehead State, what do you guys as a offense need to take care of on Saturday in order to be successful?
Well, the main thing every week is, ball security and creating those explosive plays and blocking well. So, I mean, as long as we continue to take care of those three things, I mean, that's the motive for every week. So I don't really feel like it changes whether we're playing Morehead State, Alabama, Ole Miss. It doesn't really matter. As long as we're focusing on doing our job, then everything will take care of itself.
Thanks, Al.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And also, I know Jordan Swain was the one with the block field goal in the first game against North Alabama.
How y'all doing? Thank y'all for having me.
Flipping into the other side, I mean, how do you guys prioritize stopping the run and being those guys up front?
I think, last week versus Ole Miss, we didn't play up to our potential. We didn't play how the dark rain was supposed to play. So this week going into it, we're definitely going take our name back, if that makes sense. We look to stop the run. We look to shut them down on offense, really. That's the goal every week. And we're just very excited to get back on the field and show our true potential.
Is the honey pot back this year?
I believe the honey pot is back. We haven't seen it these past couple of games, but that needs to make an appearance real fast.
All right, so trying to make that a thing this weekend against Morehead State.
Most definitely.
What did you guys take from last year's matchup with them, and what will you take?
Last year, I don't remember the exact score, but we got after them. We look to do more of the same this year. We're gonna go watch the film, look at the things that we did good. We're gonna look at the things that we did bad, and we're just gonna build off of that so that we're ready to go and compete Saturday on the field.
You guys have been on the road for a couple weeks now.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be back home?
Feels amazing, man. I ain't gonna lie. But you was talking to Al about, you know, the build up that we've seen since my freshman year, and I ain't even like last year. I could look up freshman year, you know, we'd be on the field, we'd be by ourselves, just us and the team, and I can vividly remember like as the stands have grown, as the fans have grown, we'll be on the goal line stand, and I'll look up and there's just people all in my face, you know. So it's just amazing. It's a beautiful thing, like Al said, just to see that growth and that support from the Mercer community, the Macon community.
So what Coach Cronic was talking about, you know, yeah, you guys played Ole Miss on Saturday, but you also still learned a lot of things about yourself and what needs to be changed going forward. How do you respond from a game like that? What do you take from that experience, not only into this weekend, but for the rest of the season?
Yeah, like I said, you know, any loss is tough. Obviously, Ole Miss is a good team. But like Coach Cronic was saying, we didn't execute the way we were supposed to execute. We didn't play the way we were supposed to play. And so, like I said before, we go back and look at the film, look at the things that we did good, you know, spare none at times. But we just go back to work, and we fix the problems, and we build on the things that we did well. Yes, sir.
Thanks, Roy.
Thank y'all.
Now, conclude the press conference again. Members of the media are invited to stay and eat lunch with us afterwards, but when that, again, we will not have one next week, correct? No. We won't have a press conference next week.